How can trauma lead to complex dissociation? Let's get into it. So, the theory of structural dissociation, the most well-accepted theory on how complex dissociative disorders form. One of the best sources for information on the theory being the book The Haunted Self by Ellert Ninehouse, Kathy Steele, and Ono Vanderhart. I will link it in the description if you want to look into it further. The theory is based on the idea that everyone in the world has action systems. These can also be called action tendencies, and they have also become more commonly known within the system community itself as ego states. The ideas behind what these action systems are is based heavily on the work of Pierre Janet in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Action systems are simply actions one takes to achieve a goal. If one is hungry, how to obtain food, or if one is unsafe, how to get to safety, for example. Trauma responses, such as the fight or flight response, are also based in action systems. These action systems integrate as the individual grows up. Typically, this happens by about the age of 5 to 6, but developmental disabilities can delay this. Typically, it is estimated that integration happens by around the age of 9 in those cases, though some estimate it out to the age of 12. But importantly, these are estimates, not rules. Everyone can integrate action systems at a different time, so you shouldn't rely solely on one's age to determine if one's action systems have integrated or not. Action systems still exist after this integration has occurred. They are simply able to work together cohesively, unlike those in structural dissociation. After integration, one can switch between action systems seamlessly and process the experiences of each action system as their own, instead of it being more separated from themselves. Even after integration, action systems can still develop later in life that cannot be integrated. Structural dissociation is based on the lack of integration of these action systems. For those with complex dissociative disorders, they experience significant childhood trauma leading to conflicting action systems that could not be integrated. Such as in childhood, a common action system for seeking safety is to rely on one's guardians for support. If these guardians are also the source of repeated trauma, this can lead to a conflict. To be safe, I must rely on my guardians, and to be safe, I must avoid my guardians existing at the same time. The brain may try to detach itself from the part that experienced the trauma and view it as happening to someone else, to dissociate from the experience. This develops barriers between them that prevent the integration that would happen in normal development. These action systems that aren't integrated fall into one of two categories: ANPs, apparently normal parts, and EPs, emotional parts. These terms being coined by Charles Samuel Myers in his research into wartime PTSD in the early 1900s. Apparently normal parts being those that handle day-to-day functioning, those that are less connected to the trauma, while emotional parts are those that hold the trauma and the emotions related to it. They may be fragments that are stuck in the memory that formed them and unable to function outside of that context. When structural dissociation becomes more complex, there may be characters of both ANPs and EPs within the same part. There are 3 complexities of structural dissociation. Just as with complex dissociative disorders, these occur on the spectrum, so there may be gray areas between them. The first and least complex is primary structural dissociation, where only one EP and one ANP are present. This is most commonly seen with PTSD, where one part handles day-to-day life and the second one intrudes in the form of a flashback. The second complexity is secondary structural dissociation, where there's still only one ANP, but multiple EPs are present. This occurs in complex PTSD, borderline personality disorder, otherwise specified dissociative disorder, and partial dissociative identity disorder. And the last and most complex form of structural dissociation is tertiary structural dissociation, which is present in dissociative identity disorder and presents with multiple ANPs and EPs. Importantly, not all ANPs or EPs will have their own identity as with dissociative identity disorder. Just because they are present doesn't mean that they are seen as separate from the self. PTSD, complex PTSD, and borderline personality disorder, alongside some forms of otherwise specified dissociative disorder and partial dissociative identity disorder, typically present more as a singular identity and sense of self than the multiple that are present in dissociative identity disorder. So, those are the basics about the theory of structural dissociation. I hope you were able to learn something new from this video. If you have any questions about the theory, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. If you liked the video, it would be amazing if you could give it a like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. If you want to learn more about the differences between complex dissociative disorders, you can check out our video up here. Or if you want to learn more about complex dissociative disorders in general, you can check out our playlist down here. I hope you're having a great day, and we'll see you in the next one.